Good evening to you, and thank you for choosing Hope TV to update you on what is happening within Kenya and the world over. We hope your weekend is going well so far. You're tuned in to Weekend NewsWatch. My name is Joy Muchache. Our sign language interpreter is Monica Acheng, and we'll be taking you through our top stories for the evening. How about we get started? President Ruto challenged the youth to assume their rightful position in the climate conversation, adding that the youth age group has a powerful voice that can no longer be left at the periphery. He stated this at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Nairobi, during the Africa Youth Climate Assembly 2023, where he observed that there were plans to incorporate a youth representative into the African Union. The president was accompanied by the president of the African Development Bank Group, that is Akinwumi Adesina, and Environment Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya.
To the African youth who have been part of this assembly, as you go back to your different countries, please seize the misfortunes, and I mean seize the misfortunes that the climate change has handed us, the floods, the droughts, the unreliable weather patterns. Let's use all this to jolt all of us into action, to jolt us into innovation. Let us image green jobs. Let us find ways of making ourselves employable by exploring green technologies.
For climate adaptation, we have launched what's called Climate Adaptation Window, Mr. President, under the African Development Fund, and which Kenya is a big contributor to the African Development Bank. And this is to now has $429 million that will support us to provide 20 million farmers with access to crop insurance and livestock insurance. Another 20 million farmers to have access to climate-resilient agricultural technologies to build their resilience.
We are having this first ever conference on climate change is in itself a statement of success. Just the holding of this conference is in itself a very big step. It's the first time Africa is mobilizing itself, putting their ideas, putting their suggestions, and suggesting the way we resolve the climate change puzzle. The fact that we are doing that is in itself a realization that we have a contribution to make. That's number one. Number two, that we're going to carry this forward into the United Nations General Assembly, into COP28, and we seek to influence in a new way, rather than complaining, rather than being victims. We want to be champions of solutions. It's a new paradigm shift in African narrative and attitude as we face global challenges.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga has once again criticized President William Ruto over his remarks about sugar cartels last week during his tour of the Western Kenya region. The president, while addressing Kakamega residents, publicly vowed to dismantle cartels frustrating the sugar subsector, sentiments that have continued to elicit mixed reactions over his true intentions. Speaking in Narok County during a prayer service and Thanksgiving, Odinga, who maintained that his votes were stolen in the August 9, 2022 polls, faulted the alleged threats on investors, emphasizing that the country should be governed by the rule of law and democracy. Grace Ahati reports.
Opposition leader Raila Odinga has once again maintained that IEBC servers should be opened for the world to know if William Ruto won the August 2022 election as president.
Hata sheria inasema kwamba kabla uchaguzi ingine jandaliwa inatakana server ikaguliwe. Uchaguzi ikaguliwe sawa sawa. Ndio wananchi waridhiki ya kwamba matokeo ni kama vile walikuwa wamepiga kura. Sasa mimi nataka nyinyi msimame imara, mbali mbaki msimame imara. Sisi tuko na mpango kamili ya kubadilisha mambo mengi zaidi. Hawa watu walizuia ushindi zetu. Lakini sisi tunataka kuona kama wananchi wanazidi na maisha yao sawa sawa, upande ya kilimo, upande ya ufugaji na kadhalika uchumi inaendelea.
Odinga castigated President William Ruto over his remarks of dismantling cartels hindering the growth of the sugar subsector in the country, whereby the president publicly told the two investors,
mtu ambaye ako hapa kama Mkenya ati wewe unachagua matatu, uhame Kenya, niweke wewe jela au uende mbinguni. Je, hiyo ni mtu gani? Yeye mtu ni rais kweli?
Billionaire businessman Jaswant Rai, who owns Kabras Sugar Company, was allegedly abducted in Nairobi's Kilimani area, eliciting an uproar over the safety of investors in the country. Today, Raila has attended a prayer service and Thanksgiving in Narok County, where he has condemned the president's sentiments, noting that the country should be governed by the rule of law and democracy.
Sisi hatutaki kurudisha Kenya kule tulitoka. Nataka Kenya ambayo inatawaliwa kwa njia ya kidemokrasia, serikali yenyewe inafuata sheria. Kama mtu amefanya makosa, anashtakiwa, alafu yeye vilevile anajitetea, kisha kipatikana na makosa, anapewa hukumu na mahakama. Kama hakuna makosa, yeye anawachwa. Sio ni kitu tunataka. Hatutaki Kenya ambayo inatawaliwa na majangili.
Speaking ahead of the highly anticipated African Climate Summit, which is set to kick off from tomorrow, Raila called for the conservation of Mau Forest, declaring that the forest still remains endangered despite efforts to protect it.
Sisi tulijaribu sana kuhifadhi Mau, lakini jamaa walikuwa kila mara kwa mara na wanaolafi ya mambo ya ardhi. Watu wameingia ndani ya Mau, wanakata miti huko. Tulisema watoke. Tukaambiwa kwamba nyinyi hamtapata kura zetu baadaye. Nikawaambia afadhali niende niuze mandazi Kibira badala ya Mau, ili akili Mau ihifadhiwe. Sasa bado wanaona kama wanarudi. Juzi wamesema sasa wamekubalia watu kukata miti.
The opposition leader has further pointed a finger at the Ruto administration for allegedly crippling devolution, noting that the government is holding on to various functions which are supposed to be performed by county governments.
Hawa watu hawataki kuona kama ugatuzi inafanya kazi sawa sawa. Mambo ya ununuzi wa dawa kule Nairobi, wizara ya matibabu wamebakisha pesa, manake wanataka wao ndio wananunua dawa, alafu wanatumia serikali ya chini hapa. Tunataka serikali ya county wapewe pesa ili wao wanunue dawa peke yao hapa chini.
Other local leaders such as Moitalel Olekenta, who unsuccessfully vied for the Narok gubernatorial seat in 2022, warned that the Kenya Kwanza administration has no positive agenda for the Maa community.
Tunataka sava ifunguliwe isifunguliwe.
Reporting for Hope TV NewsWatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace Ahati, for that report. Let's move on. Dry weather leading to severe drought has affected thousands of people living in Archer's Post, Samburu County. The drought has caused water and food shortages, leaving many struggling to find food and clean drinking water. Many residents said they have been forced to use dirty and salty water, which has led to stomach ailments and diarrhea. They're now appealing to the government to heed their cry for help and provide food aid and drinking water.
Faces of thirst and starvation dawn Archer's Post, location in Samburu County at large, as drought and famine hit the largely pastoralist community living in the northeastern part of Kenya. The result of the drought is water and food shortages that has adversely impacted on the health of the affected population, which may in turn increase the risk of disease and death. Experts also point to other effects such as acute and chronic health effects, including malnutrition due to the decreased availability of food, including micronutrient deficiency such as iron deficiency, anemia. there is the increased risk of infectious diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, and pneumonia due to acute malnutrition, lack of water and sanitation, and displacement, psychosocial stress, and mental health disorders. Warsaw East Location Area Chief Henry Lenayasa said that there has been instances of drought in the past 5 years caused by climate change, adding that the county government and other stakeholders have been collaborating to supply relief food to the communities in Achas Post. The administrative officer says thankfully there has not been any loss of lives during the hunger season, although the farmers are worried about its effect on their livestock.
A lot of people lost their household properties. We have experienced a lot of death due to drought, sufficient food, and a lot of people were subjected to famine. As a national government, we have been providing with food, relief food from the national government, which we normally distribute through the locationals. And we really thank our national government to focus on the people's livelihood. We never lost any livelihood for human beings. But for livestock, yes, we did.
Espient Lealismo, a resident from Achas Post, said that they are forced to drink salty and dirty water from wells. They share this water with their livestock. Espient said that the water has caused them stomach problems. She further says getting relief food takes a long time, which is unsustainable for the communities.
Hakuna kitu tunategemea, hatuna watoto wanafanya kazi. Hakuna kitu kingine tunategemea. Kama kitu kingine tunategemea watoto wetu wengine wanaenda tu hapo kwa laga, wanashimba hiyo sinya hiyo. Na watu wanakuja kwa nunua tu kwa maruri hapo. Tunapata hiyo kasumbili kwa sababu hata hii ni bei rahisi, hata wameweka hiyo mchanga ya laga. Bei maangisha ruri ya kwa pesa kidogo. Saa nyingine tu anapata 200, saa nyingine anapata 100. Hii 100 hata hakuna kitu ananunua siku hizi. Yenyewe sukari kwa hata ni shilingi 70. Shilingi 30 hakuna kitu anatosha. Anunui mboga, anunui nini? Hakuna msaada tunapata. Sisi ni watu kutegemea, kama hakuna wasunga anakuja Manyata, tunakaa tu. Wafijana tu wanaenda tu isinye, akipata si maruri, tunapata tu anapata hiyo makiti kidogo kidogo tu. Hata na wanagawa kwa sababu wako wengi. Mbuzi ameisha samana mpeleko na njaa. Ng'ombe ni hivyo. Mpeleko na jirani. Hata saizi kwa wengine ana chachate unaona tu bomo tu anakaa empty.
The communities in Achas Post and Lale Soro and some communities from Loru Bay, downstream Ewasonyiro River, also rely on water from wells, which they use for animals and domestic use since the river has dried up. This has compromised their health due to diseases they risk getting. However, what choice do they have?
Tunakunywa maji madudu, watoto anahara, natabika. Hospitali yetu ni mbali. Sasa tunaenda kilomita mpaka huko naitwa Weshoria. Tunaenda kutibiwa. Sasa hata sisi tunataka karibu kwa hapo, tunataka hospitali akuje karibu hapo, kama serikali yako na msaidizi asisaidie sisi.
Lakini mbuzi ameisha, ng'ombe ameisha. Sisi hatuna kitu. Mtu mmoja tu ndiye anaye kitu kidogo tu kama hii mfano. Kwa wengine yote hakuna kitu. Hakuna hiyo ngamia tu peke yake. Tunayo kwa hii Manyata yote kubwa hii.
Ile drought ambayo last ile ambayo tulikuwa nayo, hii ambayo juzi imeenda, ni kwamba iliathiri pakubwa sana kwa sababu wanyama walikufa na mfugo mingi zikakufa, na kutokana na hiyo kwa sababu sasa watu wa huku huwa pia wanategemea sana direct, wanategemea mfugo. So wakati wote ambao wanataka chakula ni hiyo mfugo ndio wanauza. So waliathirika katika hii njia current ambayo ilikuwa ime happen, na waliathirika sana na njia, maana mfugo zilikufa, ng'ombe zilikufa, mbuzi zilikufa, na pia kukakuwa na ukosefu wa maji mahali ambayo wanalisha, inakuwa kuna pia hiyo ukosefu wa maji, na pia hiyo pia imewaathiri, na pia maji kidogo ambao wanapata pengine inakuwa maji inakuwa chafu. So unakuta wakati mwingine pia inaleta magonjwa, watu wanakuwa na diarrhea, sana ina block hata system ya urine system, sababu maji haya hapa wakati mwingine ikipatikana inakuanga chumvi sana.
The communities are now appealing to the government and other stakeholders to make available relief food and clean drinking water for them and their livestock a priority. Samburu County is currently classified by the National Drought Management Authority (NDMA) as in being normal drought phase with a deteriorating trend. The Long Range 2023 Food and Nutrition preliminary findings indicated that 100,400 persons living in the county require humanitarian assistance. Local leaders and the communities have appealed to the government to intervene, saying that many are at a risk of malnutrition and death. Reporting for Hope TV from Samburu County, I am Joy Gatwiri.
Great feature, Joy Gatwiri. And let's move on to Laikipia, where farmers in Laikipia County have been encouraged to take advantage of the registration exercise for the subsidized fertilizer as the second phase targeted at increasing production begins. Laikipia County Commissioner Joseph Kanyiri stated at a sensitization conference for area administrators at a Nyanyuki hotel that farmers must register to benefit from government fertilizer, which is planned to retail at 2,500 shillings for a 50-kilogram bag, down from 3,500 shillings. Kanyiri further said that farmers who had registered in the first phase of fertilizer subsidies were also asked to re-register, disclosing that the goal was to corner cartels that took advantage of farmers, adding that registration is free and farmers are encouraged to take advantage of the program before the forecasted rains begins.
Tungependa kuwajulisha wakulima katika hii county. Serikali imeweza kuteremsha bei ya fertilizer hiyo subsidized kutoka 3,500 mpaka 2,500, na inakuwa ni bora wakulima wajisajili ili wawe wakufaidi kwa mradi huu. Watapata ujumbe mfupi baada ya kujisajili na wataenda kuchukua hiyo fertilizer mahali wataelezewa na huo ujumbe. Wakulima wote hata wale walikuwa wamesajiliwa kwa phase 1 ya huu mradi itabidi wajisajili tena. Maofisa wa usajili watatembea kule mashinani wakiambanamana na wazee wa mtaa. Lakini wengi wale watatumiwa ni vijana kutoka katika zile vijiji, katika zile ward, na hivyo basi wanafahamika. Twafanya hivi ili watu mataperi wasije wakajifanya ni wao wanaelekeza hii shughuli.
We have developed satellite stores so that the farmers get that fertilizer karibu na mashamba zao. They are going to get fertilizers in Olmoran, Githega, Rumuruti, Mutanga, Sipili, and Ngobit, and Ngeni. In all these stores, we are making sure that the farmers are not incurring further cost of transportation. So I urge that in the exercise of farmer registration, each and every farmer should register.
Wenzetu kutoka Meteorological Department walisema ya kwamba tutakuwa na hali ya El Nino kuanzia Oktoba, na hiyo inamaanisha pia tutakuwa na hali ya maji mingi, na katika Laikipia County vile wamesema area ambayo itaathiriwa zaidi itakuwa Laikipia West, na tunaomba wananchi ambao wako katika hiyo sehemu waanze kujiandaa kwa sababu maji mingi ikikuja itaharibu manyumba, itaharibu mashamba, itaharibu mashule, itaharibu water infrastructures ambayo tuko nayo huko. Kwa hivyo ni jukumu letu sasa kuhakikisha kwamba watu waanze kuangalia especially the higher grounds ili waweze wasiathirike zaidi.
And in our business news, Diamond Trust Bank has reinforced its commitment to change lives with the continuation of its groundbreaking project dubbed Achieve More, Girl. The initiative, which was launched in 2020, intends to address a critical issue that young girls in marginalized communities face, which is inadequate access to menstruation health products and information. DTB has partnered with the Together for Better Foundation to provide sustainable menstruation products and period health seminars to 5,000 schoolgirls in Narok, Homa Bay, Nyandarua, and Kilifi counties. The initiative kicked off in Narok County, where 1,250 girls from St. Mary's Secondary School and Ongata Oloiren Mixed Secondary School will receive menstrual hygiene kits, including 6 quality reusable sanitary pads, which will last them at least 2 years.
Today we are here to support a very worthy cause. In Narok, we are hosted by the First Lady of Narok. This is something that the First Lady of Narok is very passionate about, to give girls equal opportunity and to have no excuse not to attend school. This is a cause also that our First Lady in the Republic, Mama Rachel, is also very passionate about, and we are here as women and as a corporate to support this cause.
When we say sustainable menstrual kit, these pads are made out of cloth. We are using zero plastic because we don't want to promote any plastic through this. And they are sustainable because they are going to last for them for 2 years. So after 2 years, definitely we have to come back. But for 2 years, is the sustainability and durability of these sanitary towels. In one kit, we provide 6 pads. Our accountability is 2 for night, 4 for daytime, enough for one girl for one cycle for 2 years.
Tumeweza kusaidia hawa wasichana kwa mentor kwa shule na kuwaongelesha. Kama vile mnajua wakati ule hapo awali, mimba za mapema zilikuwa juu sana kwa kaunti hii, lakini nimeweza kujaribu pamoja na wengine, sio mimi peke yangu, na walimu wakitusaidia, na tumeona asilimia hiyo imepungua. Na tunaweza pia kufundisha watoto waachane na mambo ya ukeketaji, wakatae, na vile vile kuolewa za mapema na mimba za mapema wakatae.
Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll be looking at our international and sports news. Don't go too far. You're watching Hope TV.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Cindy?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Love Nairobi Festival with evangelist Andrew Palau is coming to Nairobi. All are welcome at this free event. 3 days of great music with Don Moen, Ponky, Evelyn Wanjiru, and more of Kenya's best artists. Bring the kids to the family fun zone, see high-flying motorcycle and BMX bicycle demonstrations. Love Nairobi Festival, 15th to 17th September at the University of Nairobi Sports Grounds. Friday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. More details at lovenairobifestival.org. It's free.
Welcome back. You're watching Weekend News Watch with me, Joy Muchache, and our sign language interpreter is Monica Cheng. Engage with us on Facebook at Hope TV Kenya and on Instagram and Twitter, formerly, actually X, formerly Twitter. Find us at HopeTV_KE. Let us know what you think of our News Watch bulletin and any other thoughts you'd like to share on the same. As we go to Sudan, Residents of Khartoum awoke this morning to artillery and rocket fire hours after an airstrike in the city's south killed at least 20 civilians, including 2 children, according to Sudanese activists. A statement by the neighborhood's resistant committee said there are many volunteer groups that used to organize pro-democracy demonstrations and now provide assistance to families caught in the crossfire between the army and the paramilitary fighters. In an earlier statement, residents said the victims included 2 children and warned that more fatalities went unrecorded as their bodies could not be moved to the hospital because they were severely burned or torn to pieces in the bombing. And as we move on to other international news, heavy rains have caused flooding in the east of Spain. Madrid's mayor advised all residents to stay at home as the capital braced itself for torrential rains and storms affecting parts of Spain. The Spain National Weather Agency, AEMET, issued a maximum red alert, which means possible extreme danger for Sunday in the Madrid region, Toledo province, and the city of Cadiz, where citizens have received an emergency message to their mobile phones advising them to stay home, while firefighters rescued people trapped in their cars at the Castello province. It is said up to 120 liters per square meter of rainfall could fall over the next 12 hours in Madrid. And let's look at what's happening in sports right here in Kenya, where President William Ruto has received and welcomed the Premier League trophy in Nairobi. He said the league has hosted former Harambee Stars captain Victor Wanyama, who played for Southampton and later Tottenham Hotspurs, and Divock Origi, formerly Liverpool, son of former Stars icon Mike Origi. The trophy was escorted by football legend JJ Okocha. The EPL Cup has been in the country since Friday with a 3-day visit to Nairobi that ends on September the 3rd. And Gor Mahia picked their first win of the season after beating Ulinzi Stars 1-0 at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. New signings Kevin Simiyu Juma and Patrick Sibomana linked up in the 29th minute. Sibomana's corner kick was met by Simiyu, giving Kogalo the lead. Meanwhile, Muranga Seal continued their unbeaten run in the top tier by winning their second game of the season. Titus Kapchanga's lone goal in the 89th minute made the difference, securing a 1-0 scoreline. Tusker and Kariobangi Sharks played to a 1-1 draw in their FKF Premier League Round 2 match at Ruaraka grounds on Saturday.
It wasn't a good match for us. Of course, we were playing at home. All expectations were that we were going to win. We knew that we were going to face a formidable opponent, a very, very tough team to handle. But we also knew what our strengths are, and we knew that if we exploit our strengths to the fullest, then we would have been in a position to get maximum points today. But sadly, that never happened. I think our main undoing today has been sharpness in our attacking third. We created a few opportunities, but we were not able to fully utilize those particular opportunities. So that's my area of concern heading into this FIFA break and, of course, starting preparations for the next match against Bandari in Mombasa.
It's very good. Playing Ulinzi is never easy. We know, especially the away game, is always going to be a fight. You know, last season we drew this game 1-1 away to Ulinzi, and we came in. You know, there was 14 games last year. We didn't pick up maximum points. And we said, can we take those draws, turn them into wins? Can we take the losses, turn them into at least draws? So today's one of those days. Last year it was a point. This year it's 3 points. It was a tough game. You know, this is a beautiful facility Lindsay have, but the pitch is a little bit, you know, it's hard to play. It's not like playing at Kasarani. So we knew we'd have to be a bit more direct today and give the ball to the strikers a bit earlier. I thought we did well with that. Created a few chances, scored off a set piece. And look, the guys just worked incredibly hard. There's a lot of tired guys there now, but, you know, fully deserved it, I think.
In other sports news, that's possibly the hottest topic for today. Arsenal has crushed Manchester United by 3-1. Marcus Rashford opened the score for Manchester, but a minute later, Martin Odegaard equalized. The other goals for Arsenal were from Rice and Jesus. This is the second game that Manchester has lost in their fourth game. That's it for updates today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And a huge thank you to all those who made the broadcast possible. We wish you a blessed night ahead. Remember, my name is Joy Muchache and our sign language interpreter has been Monica Acheng.